All right, we're now live. Welcome in, everybody. We got a fun one today. We're talking some rankings. Last time we did this, it got a little heated. We got into some debates. It was a good time. But we got me, Yash, Dale here talking the rankings. How you fellas doing today?
Pretty good.
Doing good, doing good. There's some
Love my
guys that
note
I've
take.
there's some guys that I've nuked in my rankings this week. I feel like we're getting into that second half of the season, and it's becoming harder and harder to kind of gamble on players that you feel like are gonna do good for the rest of the season. So there's some heavy takes here for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, I didn't move BTJ at all. He's still at the bottom of my rankings since week 6, bro. Proudly staying there. I did move up Hunter, though. We'll get into it.
Yeah, I think this week was very telling. I think I don't know. The last couple weeks in the NFL, like it's hard to like really buy in, but now I feel like the sample size is finally large enough to where we know a little more. Like now we have 7 weeks of data, like, and that feels like it's a pretty good sample size at this point to kind of project for the rest of the season. And I mean, we're halfway through the fantasy regular season, so not much time left in the season. It's flying by. Had some fun games last night. You guys have any takeaways from those two games? Here, let me pull up
Jackson,
the
JSN,
box scores.
number 1 receiver not named Puka Nakua. Sam Darnold gets it to his guys. We saw it with JJ on the Vikings. I don't see why it's any different here.
Yeah, I mean Kenneth Walker is falling down my rankings for sure. JSN is going to be moving into that S tier for me. Those were kind of my big takeaways from at least the late night game.
For
Nico
sure.
missing time is going to suck. The Texans just kind of look like buns right now, so yeah, it's rough.
I made those same moves in my rankings as well. Nothing really super notable from the Lions. From the Bucs side, Mike Evans goes down again, which you hate to see it from Mike Evans. His 1,000-yard streak seems like it's finally coming to an end. But I want to shout Tez Johnson because I think he's a name we got to keep an eye on for rest of season. I'm picking him up on my waiver wires if I'm in a deeper league where I'm needing help at wide receiver. I don't see why he can't be the third target getter in this offense for rest of the season behind Egbuka and Otten, which also brings me to I don't think I reflected in my rankings yet, but I probably need to pull up Cade Otten as well.
Yeah. What's Godwin's injury again?
Yeah, I was about to say, what's your stats on Godwin then, Pookie Bear?
I just don't think it's going to be happening for Godwin this year. He didn't look good when he was playing.
I think he might get forced into a Mike Evans role where he doesn't perform where we want him to, and Ibuka gets like that fantasy performance that we want. I could see that.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm more of like a wait and see approach with Godwin. Like I'm not going crazy on him. I don't even have him in my rankings yet until I see like a week of earning targets and being productive on those targets.
Right.
All right. Nothing other than that from that game. Baker finally came down to earth. We said on stream yesterday, we like the Lions. They took care of business. We also like Seattle. They tried their best to lose that game, it seemed like, with so many turnovers. You have Cooper Kupp out here throwing picks. Sam Darnold strip sack in the end zone. Like, just some bad football from both sides. Side tangent, at the end of the game, were you guys watching the end of the game where so the Texans scored, right, make it an 8-point game. There's 2 minutes and 4 seconds left. And instead of kicking the ball out of the end zone, or just kicking the ball out of the bounds, so you have the 2-minute warning and a timeout, the Texans kicked it, and it was returnable. So the Seahawks said, thank you very much. Take the ball out to the 20. It's past the 2-minute warning. No more 2-minute warning now. So now all they have is one timeout, one time to stop the clock. And they ended up not even getting the ball back because of a stupid penalty. But they went from potentially having a minute plus with the ball to 20 seconds with the ball like that. And it was just like, that's the second time an NFL team has done that this year. And it's just like, I'm screaming from my couch, like, what are you doing? Like, it's just makes me so mad watching like bad football, things like that. So frustrating.
from a
Yeah.
multi-million-dollar organization. It's
Dude,
like,
yeah, and that's the second time it's happened this year. It happened with the Bears. I think it was week 1 where they
yeah,
did the
Ben
same
Johnson
thing.
did it.
Yeah. But anyways, that's my side rant for the day. Jalen Noel, we shouted him. He kind of broke out. I'm encouraged by him. I'm sure we'll talk about him more. That being said, I think it's time to get started with our rankings.
Yes, sir.
So we got our post 7 rankings update. We're going to go position by position. First, we're going to start off with QBs. And so for QBs, we grouped them up in it's just my rankings for quarterbacks and tight ends, wide receivers and running backs. We're going to go all 3 of our rankings. And then for QBs and tight ends, obviously, Yash and Dale will let us know if they have any discrepancies with these rankings. But yeah, you guys see it here. We got Josh Allen, Mahomes, Lamar in S tier, Hurts, Jaden Daniels A tier, Dak, Baker, Herbert, May B tier, and then C and D tier is just a bunch of guys. Any discrepancies, any disagreements with this list that you guys have?
I'll make an argument for Daniel Jones to be in B tier. That's all I got. I think he deserves it. I think he has a amount of rushing upside. He's in a stable offense. He's on honestly, bro, I don't even know what the odds are, but I would bet the Colts to the Super Bowl, bro. I want to see it. I want to see it so bad, and I think they can. I think they're a really stable organization, great coaching. I haven't seen a bad, horrible game from them, you know?
Yeah, I think that's fair. The main difference for me here is I slid Dak into my A tier, just with how he's been playing. He's got CD back now. He's been having a great year, and I used to think that Dak and Baker were kind of side by side for me, but I think that I don't know if I'm going to drop him a tier or anything like that. But I think that Baker probably slides down just a little bit for me with Godwin being injured and Mike Evans probably being out for the remainder of the season or, a significant amount of time. So I don't know if Baker's going to be doing quite as well as he did in the first half of the season, even though I know he, didn't have Mike Evans for a long period of time. It just, I don't know. It makes me a little bit nervous with how he played against the Lions.
Yeah, that's fair. The Lions defense just kind of balled out too, which was
they did. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that. We were talking about how injured they were in the secondary, and then all their backups just stepped up and played phenomenally. But Baker was missing throws. He didn't look like how he'd looked the couple weeks leading up to last night. Hope it's not going to be the norm rest of the season, but I don't blame you too much for sliding Dak into A. To the Daniel Jones stuff, I can also slide him into B. I'm more worried about Jonathan Taylor just taking so many touchdowns away from him and taking away so much volume because they're so good. Where I feel like Daniel Jones can be a little game script dependent. In a week like this week, I don't know if I feel great about starting him against the Titans just because they might get up so much that they're not going to be throwing the ball.
I think that's a valid red flag for him, but
yeah,
I still think he's a guy I would like to buy and consider in B tier.
For sure. Yeah, I think I just view him more similar to the guys in C than the guys in B right now. I think he's been great in real life, but fantasy, he's QB8 right now, which I guess that's kind of about where he's ranked for me. Or I guess I have him QB10.
Where does Dart slide in here for you? I don't think he was on the list, but if you had to put him in somewhere, where you think you're sticking him?
I think right ahead of Bo Nix is where I'm putting Dart right now, probably.
I was about to say next to Daniel Jones or Jared Goff.
Yeah, he's the QB4 in points per game since he got that starting job, which I don't know if that's gonna stay quite the same, but I think we definitely got to take note of it. He's probably high-end C-tier quarterback. You're definitely fine starting him week to week right now, but I just need to see a little more before I'm putting him up into B.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm starting him over anybody.
I will. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't think I'm starting him over anybody in B. But I think it's a kind of matchup based thing. If you have two guys in C and Jackson Dart's one of your guys, definitely somebody that I'm going to consider.
Yeah,
I like that ranking.
Yeah, I think with Dart, thing that is encouraging for sure is you look at who he's done it against. I mean, he just did it against the Broncos. He did it before against the Eagles. Like, he's been getting there against pretty solid defenses, which you like to see. Very encouraging sight. Other than that, any things you guys have to take away from quarterbacks, or you guys fine getting into running backs?
I think we just move on.
Yeah. All right. Here's where it's going to get interesting. So we'll start with my running back rankings. I have JT, CMC, Bijan at S tier. A tier is followed by Gibbs and A chain. But I could definitely – I think the gap from A to S is a lot closer to me than the gap from A to B, in my opinion.
Question.
Yep.
For your rankings for Bucky and Hampton, I don't know if you have Hampton on there. Are you ranking them? How are you ranking them? Like, are you ranking them like they come back next week? Like, how are you going about that?
I believe Bucky's going to be coming back next week. That's what it seems like. So that's kind of why I ranked him so high. Hampton, I'm a little more unsure of. So that's why I don't even have him ranked.
Okay.
Bucky, I think if he's not back this week, he's for sure back week 9. And I think he's going to smash once he comes back. So that's why I'm still pretty bullish on Bucky.
Yeah, I think that Bucky's a big smash player when he comes back for sure. Just with the amount of receptions that he typically gets and with like how, injured the Bucks are right now, I think that he could definitely, if he plays 1 week and he does well, like I'm fine sliding him into B tier. I think my S and A are the exact same as yours.
I think mine are pretty similar. As far as Bucky goes, I think he's a great buy low if you're a winning team. I'm a 5-1 team in one of my leagues. Need an RB2 next to Jahmyr Gibbs, and I'm looking at Bucky on that 1-5 team right now, and I'm just like, yeah, he's not. I think he's an easy player to get right now, compared to where he was early in the season.
For sure. Yeah, if you can buy Bucky for a discount, go for it. You see where we have him ranked, and I think you're definitely getting him cheaper than those guys in that tier. Some notable things I changed from last time we did rankings. I moved Cam Scatterbo up a tier. I moved Travis Etienne down a tier. I moved Breece Hall down a tier, which I could probably put him ahead of Genty, and I could probably put Judkins ahead of Genty too, but that's kind of my tier of guys that I just don't like the offense, but I like the talent still. E tier, I moved up Swift. I moved up Dobbins and Warren. I added Rico Dowdle, and I slid down JCM a little bit. And I definitely slid down Walker.
Yeah.
Other than that, no other really major changes. Oh, and I put Rico a tier ahead of Chuba just because I think we're going to see that role continue to increase for Rico. I mean, he just was way more efficient last week and just frankly looked a lot better than Chuba.
Yeah.
No mention of Brashard Smith on here?
I mean, Brashard Smith, I like the talent, but I think the running back, the stats he put up last week aren't something that's super, that's kind of fake production the way I
Even
see
with
it.
Hunt out?
Hunt's not out. He came
He
back.
got injured. Oh, did he?
Yeah, he came back. He was back the next drive.
Interesting. I didn't peep that.
Let's talk about our B tier here. I think that me and you are quite similar, but I think that Yash has some differences. Why don't you flip through and we can just talk about these kind of top guys.
All right. So this is Dale's.
So I think that for the most part, it's basically the same. You have Javonte up there in B, which I don't hate. He's the RB 6, 7, 8 on the season. So I don't hate him being there. I do just have him a little bit lower because I don't know if he has quite the talent profile as these kind of other guys that I have at the top. But I think that we're pretty similar. I think that Yash does have some differences though, when I was looking at his rankings.
Let's look at Yash.
All right.
Judkins is your RB9. Wow. You have Judkins over Scatterbo?
I'd probably move into probably the middle of that tier, honestly, because I was thinking about our talk a couple of weeks ago before the Dolphins game. He does have a pretty tough schedule coming up, so I
You have
would consider that.
Saquon that low? Wow.
Where do I put him?
Behind Brees Hall?
Oh, they're all like in the same tier, really. He should probably be at the top of that tier. But I kind of just have that in like a tier of guys who are getting the workload, but just not really getting there in fantasy right now. So like everyone in this tier, like aside from J.K. Dobbins and DeAndre Swift, weirdly right now, is like getting 16 carries a game, and they're just, it feels almost touchdown dependent right now. I hate to do that to Saquon because I love Saquon. I got him in a league. He's underperforming for me. But until we see that O-line for the Eagles acting right and we see him blow up this week against the Giants, I can't confidently put him at a B tier. Like, would you pay that price for him right now? If you're buying him, I wouldn't. Like, you know, like that's always how I look at it when I make my rankings, and I make a ranking. Like it feels wrong in my soul, but I'm like, I wouldn't trade that for him right now.
So if you are a Saquon owner and somebody offers you Kyren, is that like a snap accept for you? Is that something you're
That's something where like now I gotta think. I would ask the Kyren owner to add, but I think that's probably the type of offers you're getting right now. Realistically, like if you own Saquon, what kind of offers are you getting for him? Like I sent like an Olave offer for Saquon in a league. Like I am not sending like premium assets for Saquon, which I mean really sucks. He was my favorite player in round 1 on Underdog this year, but I just need to come to terms with what's happening right now and his production. I think he's averaging less than 4 yards a carry right now.
A big discrepancy I'm noticing in our rankings is Travis Etienne. We have him kind of ranked all over the place.
Let's talk about him.
Yeah.
Why do you have him where you have him?
So, Yash, you have him, Travis Etienne, as your RB, like 15,
like
16.
RB2, mid RB2.
Right behind Saquon. Dale has Etienne nuked.
Dude,
I was thinking about nuking him too. I don't even blame Dale.
Dale's Etienne in the shadow realm behind Chase Brown. And then I have him. I think I'm the highest on him still. Maybe I need to lower him a little bit.
I think he might be a little too high, yeah.
I really like the beginning of season production, and the last couple of weeks haven't been great. But I still don't think that offense is, I don't know. I don't think it's great, but
offensive-minded head coach helps. But realistically, like if
they
we
are
look
going
at
on by.
Games, let's see, like I would say like half the time he kind of gets there in fantasy. In the past 3 games, we've seen his attempts go way, way down than where they were weeks 1 through 4, where we were like, yo, ETN's back, man. So I think it is worth like dropping him in rankings.
It is some really tough matchups, to be fair. Like Rams, we know the Rams are good against the run, and that game script. I mean, they were down just the entire game, so it was just pass attempt the entire second half. Seattle's stout against the run. Kansas City, probably one you would have liked to see him get there a little more. That's probably the most worrisome of these 3. I feel like Seattle and Rams I can kind of excuse a little bit. And down the stretch, Etienne has a nice schedule. He gets the Raiders after the bye, which the Raiders are actually pretty decent against the run. So is Houston, but then we got some really a rip of just really friendly games. We got Chargers, and we know the Chargers can't stop the run to save their life. Arizona, same thing. Tennessee, same thing. Indy, they are pretty good against the run. Jets can't stop. Denver, middle of the pack, and then Indy again in the chip. So I think this like weeks 11 through 13 stretch could be huge for ETN, and especially for someone that's like trying to make a push for the playoffs. ETN could be big down that stretch of the season.
I think I'd just rather buy Bucky. Honestly, I feel like people might just be pricing Bucky at ETN price, which I don't know. I think ETN's an interesting player for sure. I think our rankings are kind of just – what's up, Mando? Our rankings are kind of just showing that too. It's like he's a player that people don't really know what to do with right now. Like you can, oh, it's good, Frizzle. People just like don't really know what to do with ETN. Like you have like, you know, the pedigree of being a first round pick from Clemson, right? Right. It was Clemson he came from with Lawrence. Yeah. But at the same time, injuries, great start of the season, kind of fell off past 3 weeks, tough matchup. Like he's definitely a volatile guy. I mean, see how low you can buy him for if you're interested. Like I think Dale had him in like E tier, bro. Like go see if you can get like a Jalen Warren for an ETN. Like I don't hate that. You know,
I don't know if I'm trading Jalen. Yeah, dude. Like
let's get into running backs, but let's talk through Jason Ortiz real quick.
Okay.
Because you know, I like hot takes for dropping players. Definitely fun. Like when you guys tackled the first one.
So I mean, I don't even know if Mixon's coming back this year.
Yeah, I would probably drop Mixon for Tez.
Yeah. Those other guys, I don't know if they're super interesting to me. Monangai, you know, DeAndre Swift has looked good, so I don't think that Monangai is a guy that I'm going to go and race after in waivers. Tyrone Tracy also kind of seems like he's lost his role to Scat, so probably also not reaching for him. I do think Tez is interesting. We just talked about him a little bit. Rashard Smith is like kind of interesting. But yeah, I think if you're asking if you should drop Mixon at this point, I think it's fine too.
Yeah, I think I'd drop Mixon for Tez. I would stash Evans for now just because I don't think any of those guys are worth dropping or worth picking up for that like chance Evans comes back.
Mm-hmm.
And I would still hold Hunter Henry.
50-point Evans last year out of nowhere.
Yeah. All right. And then he also asked, should you drop Nick Chubb / Cup for Tez, Mooney, Coleman, Monangai, Rashard Smith? Chubb for Tez, I could get behind.
Yeah, I think that Mooney is an interesting bench stash.
Yeah, maybe Mooney
too. Same with Coleman. Like I think that both of those guys are kind of interesting bench stashes. So I don't, you know, if you have a decent enough RB room, I don't hate dropping Chubb and Cup. You know, it's really here or there. Like those guys feel pretty damn close to me. Or close for me. Ayuk just got a bunch of injured people on his bench.
Bro's got all of the injured players.
I think I'm just holding in this case.
Yeah, I wouldn't drop Ayuk or Fannin. Fannin's a dog.
I think last I heard about Ayuk, they're targeting like week 10, which getting anything from Ayuk this season would be awesome. And with how injured the Niners wide receiver room has been, like, are we going to be surprised if Ayuk comes back and is just like smashing? Like
Richie Rice.
Yeah.
No, I hate Ayuk a little bit as a Niners fan, though. He's a bit of a diva. The player I would consider picking up is I would consider trading Fannin high right now while Njoku's injured to a tight end needy team. Maybe package him with someone to get a small upgrade at receiver. I like picking up Io Manor. I think his stock's only bound to just keep going up. I mean, you have Tyler Lockett getting released. You have Calvin Ridley dealing with injury. You have an interim head coach. So, you know, the way they play should change, hopefully. Cam Ward drops back to pass like 40 times a game. Pass has got to go somewhere. And they were going to Chig at one point, and they always go to Io Manor. He just can't really catch him.
With what I'll say about Io Manor, because I think he's asking if he should drop Io Manor. Which
no, I thought he was asking to pick up.
I'm reading that now. I think I would drop Io Manor from Tez for Tez personally. I just like don't think Io Manor is going to be a difference making receiver like at all. Like at least with what he's shown. Like I think he's the view I'm kind of coming to Io Manor. He feels like he's like a late round wide receiver. He's fine. Like but he's not a Puka. He's not
I think he's like a Trey Palmer.
Yeah, like he's like a guy like that. Like he's a Darius Slayton. He's a Jalen Coker. Like those are kind of guys.
All right, chill. Do not put Jalen Coker.
Frizzle's about to crash out on you, bro.
I will not stand for it.
But
Frizzle's about to pull up to your house.
That's kind of my view for Io Manor. And I think Tez like just could. I think he's more interesting to me. Like, and that's pretty pretty based on the offense he plays in. But I like the talent. I mean, if you look at his college production, the last 2 years he had in college, like he was putting up real numbers. And the worry about him, why he fell in the draft, was because of how small he was. But I mean, he showed that he can play in the NFL the last couple weeks. And he was, keep in mind, he was a Baker Mayfield horrible throwaway from getting in the end zone twice yesterday, where I think everyone would be talking about him a little more if that were to happen. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
A lot of potential points on the table yesterday with
Did
that.
someone say Coker? All right. Drake London and Bill for Javonte, Waddle, and Chase Brown. I actually like this quite a bit. I do kind of feel like Drake London is slightly boom bust, where he can give you a massive week and he can also go for like 8 to 10 points, kind of just with Michael Penix's quarterback play. And I think that for me, like Chase Brown and JCM are not too far apart. Like if Joe Flacco can actually lead this Bengals offense and be good, I think that there's a very serious conversation that those guys are similar, or maybe even Chase Brown like starts to come back up to like where he was towards the beginning of the season. I can't talk. And then Waddle is almost, it feels like Javonte and Waddle for Drake London and then Chase Brown for Bill. And if you need a little bit of depth, you're kind of struggling there. I think that's a pretty good trade.
Yeah, I like that trade too, Frizzle.
Yeah, I think Drake London's a nice sell high guy. If you were here in a couple of streams ago with Andrew Porter, big Drake London hater, he was talking about how when Mooney comes back, his production will go away. Well, I don't think that's completely true. I mean, you just see Drake London being a lot less productive off of 10 targets, only 4 receptions. You don't love to see that. I'm probably going to look into the snap shares tomorrow to see where he was lining up, whether or not it was slot usage again or if they moved him back to the outside. But yeah, just definitely a take from someone else to keep an eye on.
Right.
For sure.
Okay, let's run through the rest of these and we'll get back to talking rankings.
All right. I kind of want to trade A-Chain for Cook because he already had his bye week, but I don't know if I should ask for more or less or just a 1-for-1.
I like A-Chan more than Cook, honestly. He gets so many, he's like basically their whole offense right now. It's like him and Waddle, and they just love feeding A-Chan the ball. He gets like 6 receptions every game. Feels like he has a really high floor. The Dolphins suck, and there's going to be games where they're really not doing a whole lot on offense, I think. But they just feed him the ball so much that I think that I'm going to hold on to H-N. If you do need a little extra depth, maybe you ask for something, but yeah.
You're 1-6. I say you ask for something, bro. Do not do any 1-for-1s if you're 1-6. Like that's not going to fix your fantasy team. You need to start taking guys and tearing down. You need to trade H-An for Wandale Olave and J.K. Dobbins. That's the type of trade you. Honestly though, dude, he's 1-6. Who is he starting in a flex? Trey Tucker.
You gave all 3 guys on your dynasty team.
Because all those guys are genuinely undervalued guys who are getting you there in fantasy every week. Wandale, go look at Wandale. He's averaging 14 points per week. Go look at Chris Olave. He's averaging 15. Go look at J.K. Dobbins. He's averaging 13. Last week, if he got there with the touchdown, he would have gotten 16. So while, those are all kind of gross names to name, those are all you could easily get a tier down trade where all guys who are just getting dissed, but are just getting you there in fantasy with a high floor. I like doing something like that if you're 1-6. I don't like trying to tier up or lateral moves because you're not changing anything. You're just changing the names on your roster.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys could roast me because yes, I do own all of those players.
I agreed with that part of the take. I just didn't agree with the names you were saying because
those are just the guys.
If I'm training A-Chain, I don't want Wandale Robinson to be my headliner in return. I want to be trading A-Chain for maybe I can get Javonte plus for him. Maybe I can get
AJ Brown.
Maybe I can get
too expensive or what? You don't like AJ Brown?
I
Like,
don't
if you
AJ
can
Brown
get-
the way his name is being valued.
If you can get like Bucky and like Olave for
Yeah, something like
HN,
that.
like I think it's
I like
pretty
that.
solid. Like you need
Well-
people on your team that, at least I feel like at this point, you need people on your team that are gonna be able to give you points every week, because if you lose another 1 or 2 games, you're not going to make playoffs. And your goal at this point is to just like sneak
Make
into playoffs, and then like maybe from there you can do something, right? But it's like you need to make playoffs first. So you, in my opinion, you need to target safe players that are going to give you like a decent floor every week,
Mhm.
because those bust weeks are just so devastating for you at this point.
Yeah, literally just pull up like the season rankings for all flex players, sort it by season average or season totals. Just go down the list to like receiver, running back 15, and look at the names that are just getting disrespected. Like if you do that, J.K. Dobbins and Chris Olave are both on that list, which is why I mentioned those two. Wandale is just a personal favorite of mine. But I would definitely go about it in like an objective, just like who is scoring and who is just like getting disrespected. Go buy Travis Hunter, bro. Like, you know?
Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's
I
move on
think
to
I'd try to go Javonte. I think that's the best pivot.
Javonte.
Hall for Warren. I believe that's Brees Hall for. I'm assuming Jalen Warren, which is. I was assuming Jalen Warren, which
Steven,
No, I
tell us
think
what
it
Warren.
is. I think it is.
it's crazy
Maybe
we've
it's got
gotten to
another
this
message.
point.
Because as a Brees Hall dynasty owner and as somebody that has Brees Hall in multiple redraft leagues, like I don't hate it. It as like heartbreaking as that is for me to say, Jalen Warren's receiving floor and the fact that Pittsburgh is actually like doing anything with their offense makes me feel like, I don't know, like Brees Hall just scares me at this point. Like, how bad are the Jets actually? Like, it's just such a disgusting team. It makes me feel like I want to stay away from them. So I'd be curious to hear your record and maybe a little bit more about your team. But like, I do think that that's a conversation. Whereas in the beginning of the season, I would have been like, hell no. What's your guys' take?
Oh, my goons pulled up in
So-
the chat right now.
Rankings wise, me and Yash, it looks like both have Brees Hall still a tier above Warren, which honestly I might need to move the more I'm like thinking about this. But just process wise, I don't always like doing 1-for-1 trades, especially with running backs, just because it's really taking on a bunch of risk for like, I mean, we don't really know. Like at the end of the day, like
I don't
the
have a
running
crystal
back you're trading for could go tear his ACL next week, like, and you're just like, well, why did I do that trade? I would explore other trades for Brees Hall. I think if you're wanting to move him, I think I would ask for Warren in a small piece. Like I would ask for a running back that sounds a little grosser than Brees Hall, that we have value. Like go ask for Rico Dowdle plus. Go ask for Swift plus. Go ask for J.K. Dobbins plus. Like go try to make a deal like that rather than a 1-for-1 if you're trying to move off Brees Hall. That's kind of where I'll stand.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, the one thing that I like about Jalen Warren is that it just feels like he gives you a pretty safe floor. You know, he missed 1 week and then they had the bye, but he goes for 14, 17, 13. Against Cleveland, he went for 8. And then this past week, he goes for 19 or, you know, basically 20 points. You know, do I think he's going to give you 20 points every week? Probably not. But do I think that he's a guy that can give you 10 to 15 every week? Most definitely. Whereas, you know, this is like maybe more so catered to somebody like Tudor's team that's like 1-6, right? Where you need safe floors. Like Brees Hall has shown us that there are going to be weeks where he puts up 5 points, 6 points. And like, I don't know. I just find it so disgusting at this point in the year, it's hard to kind of have those dud weeks. So I don't hate it, but I do agree with Anthony to the point where, you know, I would also explore other things, but yeah, I don't know. I don't hate it.
I think that's about the tier you would have those two guys in, though, pretty close to each other. I think you just like the workload and the talent with Brees, but you hate the situation and you love the situation for Warren and the usage. As someone who got Warren off of waivers in Dynasty like 4 years ago, I can say I've been waiting for him to shine in this moment. He's always outproduced Najee Harris. He's always been a good back who just never got the chance. So I'm hopeful for him.
For sure. Yeah. Make sure to like the stream, drop a sub if you're enjoying the content. Keep asking some questions. We'll answer Frizzles and then get back into the rankings real quick. Maybe we'll continue our rankings and then get to questions after.
You're not going to tackle the Rashi Rice pricing one?
Oh, I didn't see that one.
From Tudor. He wanted to buy Rice from a guy with Pacheco RB2, and he was going to send Bucky or Judkins. I think sending Judkins is like trade scam.
Like I would send Judkins plus. Yeah. I think now's a great time to sell Judkins. This is a great sell high.
Addison's a riser too, Tudor. I see your other one. I like Addison right now.
100%. If you can get Judkins for Rashi, do it. If you need to throw in another small piece, I'd say still do it. Like Rashi is a top 5, top 7 wide receiver.
All right.
I'm a little high on him.
I'll safely say like top 16 is a very safe ranking for me, and I don't think you can be wrong at all by saying that.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right.
Okay, what was that last question we were answering?
This question from Frizzle. 3 and 4, I don't know who to change. Trade away. Start 7 this week is May, London, CD, Bill, Brees, Mason Taylor, Woody Marks. I would try to move off Brees if you can. If you could still get a buyer. Like kind of like the deals we were saying. Go ask for Jaylen Warren plus. Go ask for Dobbins plus. Like see if you can get anyone to buy on something. Even maybe go ask for like Chase Brown plus Rico Dowdle.
There's people probably trying to want to sell high on Chase Brown right now. He's probably an easy mover.
Mm-hmm. Yo, not right now, Frizzle, but we keep getting this channel popping. You know, maybe we could start some
that would be
subscriber dynasty leagues in the summer.
Jalen Coker 101
next season. That would be fun. We'll probably get some of those running. So stay tuned. Keep tapping in with us. Hopping in Discord.
Frizzle, we gooning in the chat.
It's crazy.
32-man league. Judkins plus Quinton for Rashi, I like. I think that's solid. I mean, Judkins for Moore is like definitely I would do. I think that I probably have Zay, QJ, and Moore in that order, like ranking wise. Mm-hmm. So I'd start with Moore. If he declines, go Judkins or go QJ. Zay might be kind of a lot, but I still don't hate it.
At that point, maybe ask for like a bench player from him,
Right.
A Wandale.
Right. We got a deal from Arjun. We'll get to this. And then back to the rankings. He said he got offered Vidal and Marks for Matthew Golden. And his running back room is pretty shallow. Just with the context of his team. I think that trade in a nutshell doesn't really do much for me. But I'm fine parting with Matthew Golden for the Vidal rental and Marks. I don't feel great about Vidal rest of the season. Woody Marks I can make more of an argument about. I do think Matthew Golden could definitely be more fantasy viable than both of those running backs. But because of how shallow your running back room is on your team, like I think I could see an argument to doing that.
I would say I don't know if any of those guys really feel like upgrades or immediate slide-ins for me on your RB room. So I'm the type of person that doesn't love being put in a position every week where like, oh my God, do I start this guy? Do I start this guy? Like, you're going to be wrong sometimes and you're going to be right sometimes. And it just sucks when you're wrong. So I kind of feel like maybe you try to get a little bit higher tier running back to put in there. You've got some good wide receiver room. You've got, I don't know, maybe you throw like Matthew Golden and Rico for somebody a little bit better, but I don't know if that's.
I personally hate the trade. For me. I would instantly decline this trade if I got it. I don't think either of those running backs are going to outscore JCM consistently. I know you just came off like probably the worst showing ever against like the softest defense ever. But But what's the upside case for Woody and Vidal? Like Vidal rental, cool. Are you really gonna want to start him? Like, are you really gonna want to have to go through the mental anguish of Rico Chase and JCM, like Dale was saying? Like, no. I would just decline this offer. It just feels like you're making your bench bigger.
Yeah, I think it's a decent take.
That's fair.
Like, go trade Matthew Golden and like JCM or Chase Brown for like Quinshon or like Derrick Henry or Kyron or Bucky, or like literally just start spamming that out rather than tearing down. Like, I don't like it. I'll just leave it at that. I hate it.
Yeah.
For sure.
What tier were we on? Like B, C area?
Yeah, we were kind of just skimming through and talking about guys that were interesting.
Yeah.
I want to ask you guys about Rico Dowdle. So we talked a little about that. Where would you guys slot Rico Dowdle into your rankings?
Let me look at his usage this week.
What I'm encouraged about Rico Dowdle is just his efficiency. And I mean, dude, I know his matchups were soft for 2 of the weeks.
I mean, last week,
But
he was
right
just
now,
better
he's
than
the
Hubbard.
running back 11.
Yeah.
And he was splitting carries the first 4 weeks of the season.
Yep.
And he's got 18 touches last game.
I think for my rankings, I would probably. I don't think that I could put him any higher than E tier. Like, right now, I'd probably slide him into like top of F. I know that that's probably a little bit like bearish, but I don't know. I don't think that I'm taking Rico over any of my guys in D here. You know, I probably wouldn't take Rico over Chase Brown still, as dumb as that sounds, given how well he's done. But that's just me. I don't love investing in guys that are splitting a backfield, just because it almost seems like 50-50. You know, Rico goes for 17 carries, Chuba goes for 14. If Rico keeps just blowing Chuba out of the water, then it can become a conversation, I think. But for now, I'm still kind of I'm hesitant.
Yeah, I like the caution with Dowdle. I think it's normal to just not like a guy splitting work. I'll do downside cases for Dowdle. I mean, you have Hubbard coming off the injury. I don't know if you guys saw the reports, but he was like leading every team huddle. He was like doing a hella extra stuff during practice to try to keep his job. He is the team captain, right? So I doubt he's going to be phased out of the offense. I think we're probably going to end up seeing close to a 50-50 split. Rico's probably going to be more efficient. Like, we literally just saw him be more efficient than Hubbard straight up. So, but I agree with Dale. Like, while Chase Brown is probably where I draw the line, I would probably have Rico over Chase Brown for now. Because I feel like Chase Brown kind of just got lucky breaking off 3 15-yard runs against the Steelers. Like, I don't know. And it kind of felt like he was running in slow motion. I don't know. That it was like weird watching him break off those runs. I'm like, he's kind of running slow. But I think that Dale's about right. So if we look at my crackhead rankings, yeah, I would probably put him exactly where Dale just said. So where I have Chuba, honestly, is where I would put him. But I would probably put Rico where Chuba is, and I'd put Chuba right behind Ramondre, because I think Ramondre's usage is, you can't ignore it. You kind of just got to slot him in as like a high-end RB3, low-end RB2.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right. Any other running backs you guys want to talk about before we get into wide receivers?
No, not off the top of my head, but we can come back to it if I think of something.
Andrew, we talked about London and Mooney, but I'll bring it up on my rankings too.
All right. Wide receivers. We'll start with my rankings. This is what I got. I bumped up Rashee Rice, bumped up Egbuka a little bit, bumped Odunze down a tier, bumped Garrett Wilson down a tier, bumped Nico Collins down a tier, moved DK Metcalf up a little bit, moved Worthy down a little bit, BTJ down a little bit, and then, who else? I made some changes to D tier. I kind of moved some guys around. I moved Olave up a little bit, and I think I might move him up even more so.
I
Yeah.
hate your BTJ ranking.
Anything that's popping on this for you guys, BTJ?
Yeah, I hate it.
Does Waddle's performance this past week? I know they play against a good defense in the Browns, but does that concern you moving forward for the rest of the season?
Wait, what'd you say? Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was reading the chat.
Does Waddle's performance this past week? He goes for 1 reception on 4 targets, 15 yards. I mean, he gives you 2.5 points. Does that concern you moving forward?
Not really. Game script was awful. It was the wind game. I said we talked about in the Discord. I didn't want to start anybody from the Dolphins side besides A-Chain in that game and Waddle if I couldn't avoid it. But I think we still got to start Waddle. I mean, he showed the 2 weeks before, like what production I think I kind of project for him on a week-to-week basis. I think we can kind of project him for like 15, 16 points. Wide receiver 1 to offense. If he gets in the end zone, that's a 20-point receiver. I think we got to still start him week to week. You just got to be careful because he's not going to be quite as matchup proof as the guys we have ahead of him. And I think that's why we still see him like behind some guys like Drake London, Rome Odunze. Yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Waddle.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I just Tua makes me a little bit nervous. The Dolphins make me a little bit nervous. They've just kind of been all over the place this year. I know that, I guess it does make sense with the win game though. That checks out. So I think I tanked him a bit, but maybe I'll slide him back up a tad.
Yeah, the entire, pass game as a whole was just awful. And we know the Browns, even in not 50-mile-an-hour wind environments, are still a tough defense. But no one's really going to get there when Tua throws for 100 yards and 12 completions.
Right. No, I think that's fair.
All right. Let's look at your guys' rankings.
Yeah, I think that for the most part, I'm pretty similar. I took Puka out of his own tier just because of the injury right now. If he comes back and he starts doing Puka things again, I think that it's fine if you want to put him in his own tier. I moved JSN up. I moved Jamar up. I moved CD up. I think I moved Rashi up as well. I moved Igbuka up. Nico went down for me as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Jamar's looked really good. If Flacco just keeps throwing the ball to him 20 times a game, I think it's hard to have him anywhere but S tier. JSN is, seems like a locked and loaded top 3 wide receiver for the rest of the season. CeeDee Lamb looked good in his first game back. I'm probably, I might be a little higher than most on CD as a long-term dynasty owner, but
probably not.
I don't think let me know if there's anything outrageous here in my rankings that you guys see. Jalen Waddle is a little bit low. I did move him down. I think that he should probably be in that kind of mid B tier.
Olave and Waddle are big discrepancies I'm noticing.
Yeah, Olave's look good, man. I'm starting to hear
I have Olave buried a little bit.
The Olave truth there.
I might need to move Olave up a little bit. I kind of have him buried. Right. You have Cortland Sutton a little higher than I do.
AJ Brown.
I think that Olave. I just think that Jalen Hurts' quarterback play has looked a little bit better recently. And I do think that he's still the wide receiver 1 over Devontae. I know that Devontae just went nuclear, but I think that just for now, he's a little bit higher than Devontae for me. But there's definitely that risk of a bust game for AJ Brown. So he's not somebody that I love, but I think that it'd be a little disrespectful to just dump him, into those lower tiers.
Yeah. He's just one of those players I want to, know why we're raising or lowering him. He's a hot topic.
I have him and Devontae Smith right next to each other in my rankings right now.
I think that's fair. Yeah, I'm probably a little bit high on AJ Brown, honestly. But just feels like he's known to beg for targets. He's known to stir up things in the locker room. Mm-hmm. I don't hate AJ Brown.
To me, this B through D tier feels very flat. I had a very hard time ranking these guys. Like, I don't know if you guys felt that same way, but I feel like these top 9 were pretty easy for me to see. And then Odunze had been, but I feel like we've been seeing a little bit of more floor than I would like to see out of Odunze the last couple weeks than I think any of these top 9 guys have. So that's why I dropped him a bit. But all these other guys, like, I can really see arguments both way for. Like, I can lower them or I could raise them with a convincing argument.
Yeah,
it gets pretty tough.
Matchup dependent, riser fallers. I kind of had that problem too. With my big ad tier list. Real quick, let me just rapid fire some. Just countered Breece Hall and Pickens for Warren and Ibuka. Have Tez thoughts. I like getting Warren and Ibuka. Breece Hall, Jalen Warren, basically lateral Pickens to Ibuka. I consider that a slight upgrade. You guys can comment on that if you want. LeBron's Fab should be dropped on Coleman. Don't really know how much Fab works, but I think if Coleman's on your waiver wire in a 12-man league, I think he's worth picking up, especially after the bye week. I mean, the Bills are looking like they have a crap defense. They might have to play from behind a couple of times. Wouldn't be surprised if we have to air it out. What'd you guys do? Oh, and as for Arjun, love getting Matthew Golden for 2 guys you probably just got off waivers. Monagai or Brashard Smith to pick up in PPR. Give me Monagai just because, I mean, do you want a guy in a 3-man backfield or a guy who's just behind Swift, you know?
Yeah, I'd go Monangai too. Arjun, I would do that trade now if you're getting Golden. LeBron's, I wouldn't go crazy on Fab on Keon Coleman.
Yeah.
What's the Giants' thoughts? I don't know how real that is. I don't think the Dolphins, I think they said they're not really going to trade Waddle.
I don't think Tua's getting benched either. I mean, they might try out Quinn Ewers towards the end of the season, but I don't think it's going to happen yet.
Yeah, they said Tua has they said he's the starter. So, I mean, but when the coach is having to confirm a guy's a starter, that's never a good sign because that was happening to Justin Fields before this week. And look what happened during the game this week. So, I wouldn't be surprised if we see it in the next couple weeks, but Dolphins are kind of toast if they can't start Tua. They're gonna have to take like a $90 million cap hit.
Right. Tudor asked, do we know the status on Bucky? I was just looking at it. It's kind of hard to say for now, but it's either he's gonna, if the Bucs are aggressive, then he'll start this week 8, but otherwise he's just gonna be back week 10 after their week 9 bye. I think those are kind of the 2 options, and it's probably 50-50 for now.
LeBron's giving Pitts, by the way.
Yash. I'm just catching your Rashee Rice ranking, dude. Why do you have Rashee Rice this low? Like, I know you.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it.
Stephen Drake asks, it's a week 6 league. I'm 0-1, just countered with Hall and Pickens for Warren and Ibuka. I have Tez thoughts. Yeah, I think that's a crush. Yeah, I think Ibuka for Pickens, you get a nice upgrade there, and I think that Hall and Warren are similar, so I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's dive into my controversial rankings.
All right, so what's the reasoning for Rashee Rice behind?
Honestly, it's just
literally
the same tier. I would probably put him next to JJ. Honestly, a little higher than JJ, so I'd probably just move him to the tier. This is more of me just like trying to figure out where I wanted to put him because I was like, I am concerned with like the whole thing, but his game is not deep receptions; it's PPR scam yak. That's what his game is. So that's why he's there. I think he might be a guy who could be in a receiver 1 argument. Is he in the receiver 1 tier? But I think that's just going to be a touchdown reliant kind of thing. I think he's going to get so many design touches, though. I think he's a guy who, for me, is a high end receiver 2, probably closer to a low end receiver 1. I just hate to say it.
Why do you have Debo a tier ahead of you?
That's what I was going to say. You got Debo as a top 9 receiver for the rest of the season.
I mean, was he been doing?
You just said Rashi's a yak guy, PPR scam guy.
Yeah, and Debo
is Debo not just
Debo's literally just been doing that more
scam?
Consistently and has a larger sample size on the season. And he has who is his competitor for targets? Freaking Luke McCaffrey.
Terry
Like-
McLaurin. He's back this week.
Yeah. Like, I think we have such a big sample size from Debo this season so far. He's averaging like damn near 7, 8 targets a game. He's getting you there in terms of touchdowns. He's rushing. They love Debo. He's skinny Debo. I think, like, yeah, you can hate, like, just because it's, like, in front of Rashee. But I think that Debo does slide into a tier above JJ, Jalen, Devontae, and Garrett Wilson right now. He's, on my terms, he's on a more consistent offense. That's ignore Devontae Adams. He's just receiver 2, high upside when Puka's out. So that's my reasoning for Rashee Rice being a tier below Debo right now. Rome, I mean, dude, if you guys are viewing him like this, dude, go buy him. Like, honestly, if this is how people view him, I might go buy him and redraft right now because he's going to give me 17 points a game, and I'm going to buy him for as cheap as DK Metcalf is, like, looking at these chats. So that's how I always look at my players.
As a Justin Jefferson owner, would you trade Justin Jefferson for Debo straight up?
I think so. Right now in redraft, dude,
Yeah.
like, JJ is not getting there. Like, I was like, it is so sad, bro. Like, and it's mostly because JJ is just a really good route runner. Like, when the ball is in his hands, you're not as scared as when the ball is in Jamar Chase's hands. Like, you know what I mean? Like, JJ's floor is just lower than Jamar Chase's, which is why they're 2 tiers apart. I just think Justin Jefferson's name value is really what's carrying him right now. I would look to move off him personally. So I was talking to you guys about buying him in Dynasty, dude. Like, he's receiver 18 on points right now. He's definitely someone who is perceived as a top 12 receiver when in reality, I don't think he is right now. And that's with Carson Wentz, the veteran quarterback, playing, not even JJ McCarthy. When JJ McCarthy was playing, he was looking like a Wan'Dale Robinson. Okay.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Why is Malik Neighbors in your rankings?
Oh, Malik Neighbors represents Wan'Dale, by the way. Malik Neighbors represents Wan'Dale, and Christian Kirk represents Jalen Noel. So I do have Jalen Noel ranked around like all these guys who you normally see on waivers or like people are just like really disappointed with.
Jalen Noel in the same tier as Marv.
Dude. If we live in a society where that's just the truth of the matter. Other takes, I think Jordan Addison was a big riser for me. I know he's only an E tier, but I think if you just look at the fantasy points, bro, he's doing better than Justin Jefferson is right now on your fantasy
He's looked
team.
good. He's looking good.
I think like that's another reason why I'm kind of low on JJ right now. He's really like someone who I wanted to put in C tier, but I already knew I was going to get flack for Rashee Rice being in B tier. Moving past those players, other people I want to highlight, Nico Collins, big baller for me. Love the talent, love the size, but he's injured. The offense looks mediocre at best. O-line doesn't give Gisele Stroud any time to pass. Why is Dalton Schultz your leading receiver? Like, that's never a good sign. So that's why I dropped Nico down to a tier below Sutton.
He did get hurt too.
Yeah. You see Olave up in my C tier. I don't think that surprises anyone who's been listening to the past couple of streams. Did drop George Pickens down a bit. I would still rank George Pickens as a high-end receiver too. I mean, if you saw the game, like they just love sending the ball deep to him down the sideline. Nico must pay for what he did. Yeah, that's tough, man. To answer Andrew's question from a while ago, I did drop London down from like my like demon tier. I almost wanted to drop him off of A tier. I was looking at snaps, and when Drake London has his blow up games, it's mostly out of the slot. This past game, they like used Kyle Pitts in the slot is what I'm seeing from the data right now. Kyle Pitts is getting like the most slot usage out of any receiver on the Falcons right now, which is a very surprising stat to uncover on stream right now. So I think I don't think you should be scared about Darnell Mooney, Andrew. I almost feel like you should be scared about Kyle Pitts maybe actually finally being who we thought he was. If there's any other like questions about my rankings, I know a lot of these are aggressive. I mean, I didn't even drop BTJ. I just moved Travis Hunter up to reflect that I think Travis Hunter is probably what you guys think BTJ was going to do for you this season. So I don't understand why we're still selling ourselves the story on BTJ when A, he's injured, and 2, what's changing? What's changing for him to do better?
I have another question about your rankings.
LeBron's. I didn't have to drink. You're so right.
DK Metcalf being in C tier feels a little bit high for me. I mean, why do you have him like 2 tiers above somebody like Ladd or
Ladd's
Jordan
the receiver
Addison?
2. Ladd's the receiver 3 in his own offense. I think Jordan Addison's the bigger question. I think Jordan Addison might deserve to be in D tier, to be fair. Until we see Ladd actually break out and take over Keenan Allen's role. Oh no, it took out my Keenan Allen and my QJ pictures. Let me pull up my tier list that I made. Damn, that's annoying. I literally had them.
You guys
I had them to like C or D tier, I think. I had them a tier above Ladd, both of them. I had Ladd 1 tier below Keenan Allen.
Okay.
So that's
the
how
thing
I'm
with dude, I just don't like DK Metcalf. Like, I don't know where exactly I have him in my rankings, but like
he's definitely overperforming his production.
He still hasn't gone for more than 5 receptions on the year. He only ever gets there when he scores a touchdown. Like,
just look at the target share though. Like, percentage of the offense, he's like 40% of the passing offense. Which I know, like, target share, like, no quantity wise, it doesn't look good, but like he's getting the quality targets, like he's getting the end zone targets, he's getting like used as the main guy in the offense, like, which that's my bullishness on DK is that like he's always been an efficient player, right?
Someone put up Fiery Tutors thing about BTJ right now. Holy copium.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
I think
I get
I'm
the concerns.
Yeah.
Any other hot takes you guys are wanting to discuss right now? Because I think Wandale, you guys see him. I have him in that E tier with Ladd, with Worthy, with honestly Ricky Pearsall. I want to raise, but he's just injured.
Let me ask Dale this. Like, sorry to cut you off, Josh, but I'm just thinking like through AJ Brown, like, and DK Metcalf, what's the difference you have between those two guys?
I like that.
Because I saw LeBron just say that in the chat, and I feel like I view them very similarly.
No, I mean, I think that's a fair take. I think that AJ Brown is just on a much better offense. I feel like they're going to be in the red zone more. I feel like AJ Brown has more of a history of like, I don't know, exploding for big points. I do get what you're saying though, with like the like amount of targets that he gets and the kind of receptions. I don't know. It just feels like for me that I would much rather have AJ Brown on the Eagles getting passes from Jalen Hurts than, DK Metcalf on the Steelers, getting thrown from 40-whatever-year-old Aaron Rodgers.
Hey, Rodgers actually looked pretty good.
He's looked okay, but it just feels like AJ Brown is what DK is, but just better. Like, it's just like, I don't know. That's my take. At least.
I mean, I don't think that's a horrible take, but I think the disrespect on DK is kind of crazy.
I think the floor is a lot lower with AJB. I think this is where the difference is. Like, I think I'm more concerned about like Devontae Smith eating into his workload, Saquon getting his touches. We know Saquon's going to get like 20 touches a game. Like, on the Steelers, really, it's DK Metcalf, it's Jaylen Warren, and it's the 3 tight ends getting some shit. And of those guys, like, who would be the first person you prioritize, right? It's fucking DK Metcalf. Like, just look at him and then look at Jaylen Warren. Like, and then you look at the Eagles, they have 4 guys now that they got to make an effort to get the ball. And I get the offense is better, but I don't know.
Where do you have DK in your rankings and then AJ Brown?
I have DK ahead of AJ Brown. I have DK in this tier with like Cortland Sutton. I have him with like the wide receiver ones on shaky offense situations.
Fiery Tutor
And then I have
instigated
and then
right now.
D tier besides Zay is like receivers in complicated receiving rooms that I love the talent, but I either have a concern about target share or offense of just volume.
Julian, we will answer trade questions if you have any, but Ant's got to get out of here in a couple minutes. Let's just let's show tight ends. We can always revisit our rankings. They're always fun to talk about.
Yeah.
I do got to get out of here soon, but yeah, we're going to drop all the rankings in the Discord after this. So if you guys have anything else you want to unpack about these rankings, I'll drop the link to the Discord. You can look at them over there. And then our next stream, you can ask us any questions about them. Julian, we do got to get out of here, but if you join the Discord, it's 100% free to join. You can fire off your questions in there, and we'll answer them for you in there. And that goes for anyone else. Tight end rankings, real quick. I just want to shout Rondé Gadsden because I'm bullish on him rest of the season. I think this spike week from him was very real, and yeah, I'm prioritizing him on my waiver wire for sure this week. I think he's my number one pickup, followed by Tez Johnson for the week.
The only thing I got to say about your tier list is I would just organize C tier a little more. I feel like Kyle Pitts should be ahead of Mark Andrews. I feel like Mason Taylor should be ahead of Mark Andrews. TJ Hawkinson should probably be right behind Mason Taylor, but that's about all I got to say. I like the tiers, how they're set up. Theo Johnson, actually, I feel like should be in C tier. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, I can move Theo up. I think Loveland could also – I know I've been shouting him the last couple weeks, but I think we're starting to see it come to fruition. Career high in targets last game, 4 targets, 3 receptions. Didn't really have a crazy stat line, but just trending up in the offense. And also Cole Kmet got banged up. So I think that's super encouraging to see for Colson Loveland. Keep holding him. In Dynasty, if you can buy him for a massive discount, go do it. Let me ask you guys this one. In Dynasty, Rondé Gadsden or Colson Loveland?
Give me Loveland. I think I'll just buy into the Ben Johnson rebuild in Chicago. I mean, they got a first-round pick at every position, basically, except running back for their rebuild. I think I'd just rather buy into that than a guy who's playing behind QJ McConkey and, Amarion Hampton.
Yeah. That's honestly a pretty tough one. The
pedigree of being like a top 12 pick in the NFL draft.
I don't think if somebody offered me Loveland as a Gadsden owner, I probably wouldn't accept it right now. I want to see a little bit more. I don't think that he's a guy that I'm necessarily selling high on. But I do also think it feels like Gadsden is very high up right now and Loveland is very, very low. So it's just, I don't know. It's it's tough, honestly. Maybe Gadsden if I'm trying to win this year, but it depends. It depends on what my team is. Depends on, kind of what kind of depth I have. It's tough. Where are you at with it?
I think I would still side with Loveland just because of the prospect pedigree. But I think if I'm a Gadsden 4th round dynasty drafter like I was, I'm running to the bank. I'm hyped to
Didn't you get him off the waiver wire?
Yeah, I think I did get him off waivers. I got him on 4th round in another league then.
Big ups.
But yeah, just wanted to shout out Gadsden. I got to get out of here, fellas. Join the Discord, like the stream, sub to the channel. Think we'll be going live again tomorrow. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Thank you, Yash and Dale, for hopping on and talking about these ranks.
Yep.
We'll see you guys in the next one. Later.
Peace.
Deuces. Pick up Jalen Noel.